What's going on, guys? So in front of me, you were looking at a 2022 Ram 2500 Lone Star Edition crew cab four-wheel drive truck. Now this truck is equipped with the 6.7 liter Cummins diesel engine. It produces 370 horsepower and 850 pound-feet of torque. This is one absolutely gorgeous truck, and it's got some really interesting features for this specific package. Now we're going to spend some time with this truck. I'm going to drive it around. I'm going to let you know what my driving impressions are. But first, let's take a look at the outside and inside of this truck so I can give you my overall feedback and some of the interesting details that were included with this specific package. Hang tight, I'll be right back. All right, so first and foremost, I think a lot of people who have watched my channel will probably realize is that because this truck is a four-wheel drive truck, because this truck has the 6.7 liter Cummins diesel engine, it probably is going to have a hit in terms of payload capacity. And that's simply because when you look at the gross vehicle weight rating of a truck, and then you look at all the features, luxury amenities, and all that stuff added to it, it's going to take away from the overall payload capacity of the truck. But what do you think the payload capacity of this specific truck is before we take a look at the door sticker? So again, before I walk up to the door sticker, I know a lot of folks are automatically going to presume that the payload capacity is relatively low on this 3/4 ton truck because, again, I said it has the diesel engine, four-wheel drive package, but this is not a luxury trim truck. It's got cloth seats in it. It lacks a lot of features. It doesn't even have navigation. It does have, you know, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and stuff like that, but it has some other interesting features that have been added, and some of those features may actually hurt the payload. So even though there's things like leather and there's some other features like a manual passenger front seat, you might again presume that the payload capacity on this truck might actually be pretty high. But what do you think it is? Let's take a look at the door. This truck has a cargo capacity of 1,995 pounds. So 1,995 pounds. Now, it's higher, I'm presuming, than a lot of people probably thought, but it's also lower than a lot of people thought. The total payload capacity of this 3/4 ton truck is 1 ton. So, it's certainly not a lightweight or a light capable truck. Now, keep in mind, though, this is not the truck you would typically spec out with a 6.5 foot bed, right? You would typically get something like this with a longer bed, but at the same time, though, if you're going to try to use this to haul something like a fifth wheel or a large gooseneck trailer, this is an unusual truck. There's some interesting features, and let me show you what some of those features are real quick. So starting from the front, this truck is really anything other than stripped down, right? This is not a base level truck. This is what I would consider to be kind of a volume vehicle. This is going to fall kind of right in between whenever you get into a 3/4 ton truck with more of a base work package versus a Laramie truck where you might have it pretty specced out. This is actually going to be a step above that mid-trim package because it has the Lone Star package on it. That said, though, there are some interesting details. So typically the Lone Star package is going to give you all the chrome treatment up front. It's going to give you the LED headlights, LED turn signals, accent lights, LED fog lights up front. You have the front parking sensors, big chrome steel bumper. You got your tow hooks up front. Really, really bold chrome front grille, which is super nice. You have your chrome running boards that run the entire length of the cab area, which is really nice. A lot of people appreciate that. And again, 3/4 ton truck, Cummins diesel. The Cummins is generally going to be the most expensive option package you can add to this truck. If you just got this with a Hemi, you would actually save about $10,000. No kidding. It's about a $10,000 option to jump to the Cummins. It's got the 20-inch wheels, the Firestone Transforce AT tires. Coming back, you have your tow mirrors on it, so you have your flip-up tow mirrors. Not a real big surprise on a 3/4 ton truck. And on the back here, again, this has a 6.5 foot bed. You can see it has the factory bed cover already installed. Now, the first kind of oddity you're going to see with this specific truck is when I drop the tailgate. Now, the first oddity with this is that it actually has an electric tailgate. So it's the tailgate that you have to press a button to drop. The weird thing is it doesn't actually have a tailgate release button on the key fob, but it does have keyless entry and it has a key fob like this. The other weird thing is it doesn't have the touch sensitive door levers over here, so you actually have to unlock it from the key fob to open up the door, which is kind of interesting. Typically you would see the buttons on the door, but again, you can't actually drop the tailgate from the actual remote fob. However, check this out. This 6.5 foot bed truck with 2,000 pounds worth of cargo capacity, comes equipped with the fifth wheel gooseneck tow package. So you can see the puck system here. Those are for the drop-in fifth wheel hitch, and you can see the big one in the center, which is for the drop-in gooseball. You can also see you have your 7-way connector here on the side. You also have a 115 volt, 400 watt power plug back here. That's really cool. You know, just a standard AC power plug back here. So you have the ability to plug in whatever you need to do back here, charge your tools, things like that. But that is very, very interesting that it has the fifth wheel gooseneck prep package on this truck, which I don't see this as a negative, only because it just goes to show how well you can spec out a Ram truck, even if you're not getting one in a configuration that you might think is traditional. So, you know, if you have a really small gooseneck trailer, or if you have a really lightweight cargo gooseneck style trailer, maybe a 8,000-10,000 pound trailer, you have the ability to connect it with a gooseball, which is pretty nice. It does have your bed lighting, and this also has the spray and bed liner as well. And it has rear LED lighting also. So it has, again, a really nice package. Ultimately, this is a package a lot of people might find really appealing. Now, one feature that this truck does have that's really going to blow a lot of people away, and I have to crawl underneath it to show you, is this truck was spec'd out with the rear air suspension. So this does not have your traditional coil sprung suspension back here. This is actually a rear air suspension. So you have the ability from the inside of the truck to raise or lower the back suspension and to level the truck out if you're going to be, hauling a trailer that might add some weight to the back of your vehicle. So keeping in mind what your payload capacity is, you need to be careful, monitoring that. But at the same time though, this gives you that capability of leveling out a trailer that you might have in the back. And it works really quickly. So, some people have actually used this to put the ball underneath their coupler and then raise it up to couple to the trailer. So yeah, you got some pretty interesting features on this truck. The two that kind of stand out right now would be the air suspension and the fifth wheel gooseneck package, again on a 6.5 foot bed with the diesel engine. So it's just kind of an interesting package so far. But this is going to be a package that will appeal to a lot of people because this might be the way you want to spec your next truck out. And it's good to know that you can do that, especially with a Lone Star Edition package. Now coming around, it does have the parking sensors on the back, and it also has this really cool back corner step. So if you want to have better access into the bed of your truck, you can use that. What I really like about this back corner step is that it makes it easy to get onto your tailgate and into the bed. It's a little bit more difficult getting off, but it's not too bad. But what's nice about it is, unlike Ford and General Motors with their multi-function tailgates and their man steps, those add a lot of weight to the actual tailgate of the truck. So when you go to something like this, the tailgate's really, really light. It's very, very easy to lift up and down. You don't have to worry about all that bulk inside of it that increases the weight, but you still have easy access into the bed of your truck, which is nice. Now, unlike the new Toyota Tundra, this does not have the option to have this electronically retract. So you pretty much have to kick it back into place. Let's quickly hop inside of this truck and show you what it's all about. First of all, you can see some of the treatment of the door trim right here. You have all your power windows, door locks, everything here. Another feature I really like about this truck that really Ram is the only one doing is they give you the ability to electronically control your spot mirror. So you have your main mirror here, whether it's flipped up in towing mode or you have it down, but you can electronically control the smaller mirror underneath it or to the side of it, and that's a huge feature. I mean, that is an absolutely great feature. The only other feature I really wish that they had, because they do have the feature that folds the mirrors in, I wish they had a feature that would actually flip the mirrors up. I think that would make a lot of sense. Looking inside, you have your headlight controls. You have your little cargo plug. That's that 115 volt, 400 watt cargo plug in the back for AC power. You have the ability to raise and lower your pedals right here. You can also tilt your steering wheel, but it is not telescopic. Has a traditional Ram gauge cluster, and then the 8.4 inch Uconnect system. Now, because this is not considered a luxury trim, you don't have leather seats. So that's kind of another oddity about this truck, right? With some of the features you have, you would almost expect to have leather seats. So you do not have leather seats in this truck. They are cloth, very comfortable cloth seats. And the other piece is that you don't have all that really fancy trim work that you see with soft touch material on the dash of the vehicle. So that's kind of an interesting one as well. But it makes the interior look a little bit more neutral, if that makes sense. It doesn't look as high-end or as fancy, but it doesn't look bad. It just looks more utilitarian. It looks more almost like a blackout package, to be honest. Now, I'm going to show you something that's really interesting because I have never seen this on a non-luxury trim truck. I'm going to go ahead and press the start button and start the engine. Check out the rear view mirror. So it has the rear view mirror camera. And again, I typically only see this on high trim, high-end luxury package trucks, but it has it on here. Again, your 8.4-inch Uconnect display here. And right here is your trailer height control. So you can lower the truck. You see it right there on the gauge cluster. Or you can raise the truck all from this button right here, which is super cool. Then you have your diesel exhaust brake, tow haul mode, front and rear parking sensor controls, as well as your trailer brake control, 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive, 4 low controls also. Here's all your AC controls right here. This to me is almost the perfect size display. I could see it being a little bigger, but you can get this with the 12-inch display, but I think that's almost too big. But I'm a big fan of these kind of neutral size screens where it's more of a practical size screen. You're not searching this huge screen to find what you're looking for. So the 8.4-inch screen to me is, you know, it's a pretty awesome size screen. And I know that most trucks now are giving you options for these huge screens, but I think that that is a very, very good size screen for this truck. It does not have navigation. I would have expected it to have navigation, but it doesn't. So I know most people use their phones now, but I certainly use my map on my navigation just to kind of figure out where I am from a situational awareness perspective if I'm traveling to an area that I've never been to or if I'm taking a detour. Typical with Rams, in the center console, you have this really cool little measurement chart on the bottom of the center console. Huge pocket right here. You have the ability to slide this back and forth. A lot of storage there. More storage in here. You have your cup holders right here. No sunroof. That's an interesting one. So there's no sunroof on this package, which again, I'm actually kind of a fan of. I'm not a big fan of having a bunch of sunroofs, having a large sunroofs or a sunroof in general on a truck. I know some people love them. I'm personally not a big fan. You have a 12-volt outlet up top. Charge your navigation system, charge your cameras, whatever you might want to charge up there. That is a glove box. You have a lower glove box below it. Very nice. Let's hop in the back seat and take a closer look back there. All right, stepping into the back seat. First of all, you can see that you have a ton of leg room. You have some cup holders down here. You're gonna have some cup holders right here. You have some cup holders right here. Right here, all within 2 feet of each other, you have 6 cup holders. That's pretty amazing, honestly. You can see how the seat right here kind of bevels in. This is kind of a trademark Ram thing. Most of the other brands just have a straight seat right here. So anybody sitting in the center is gonna have not a heck of a lot of, you know, support under their legs, but I would venture to say that not a lot of people really sit in that center seat. Under the seat right here, you have this fold-out floor system, which can kind of flatten out the whole space if you want to put like a kennel or something back here that needs a flat floor. And then underneath the seats right here, and at least underneath where your feet would go, you have these really cool little storage compartments down here. Be able to store what you need, and they are on both sides. Very cool though. What do you guys think? What do you think of this truck? I like the tall headrests back here. A lot of good support for you if you're sitting in the back. And then back here, of course, you have your AC vents, USB and USB-C connections, as well as a 400 watt, 115 volt AC power connection back here. Very cool truck. And just in case you're wondering, the sticker price on this truck is here north of $75,000 MSRP. And oh yeah, one other feature everyone wants to know, it has a 373 rear end. So the gear ratio of this specific truck is 373. Of course, you're gonna have all of your, you know, accident mitigation stuff that's pretty much coming standard on trucks these days. You have 360-degree cameras, which is really nice. And, you know, those will definitely come in handy, especially if you're towing or trying to maneuver around objects. But yeah, please let me know. What do you think about this specific truck? Is this a truck package that you would get? I mean, if you were to see this truck at a dealership lot with the features that it has, you know, specifically the kind of strange ones, cloth seat with the air ride rear suspension, the fifth wheel gooseneck prep package, you know, things like that. What would you think about this? Especially it comes with the Cummins engine, again, the 6.7 liter. This does have the 68 RFE transmission, so this is not the high output Cummins engine. This is the kind of the base Cummins engine, right? The diesel engine. I know they're working on a gas Cummins, but you know, this is the base diesel engine and it has the standard transmission, but you still get a ton of power. I mean, who would have thought that the base engine in a truck, 10 years ago would get you, well, I guess more like 12, 15 years ago, would get you, 370 horsepower and 850 pound-feet of torque. Anyways, I'd love to know what your opinion is on this truck. Please leave a comment below. I'll have this truck for a while. I'll definitely do some more videos with it. I'll feature it doing some work for me as well, and I'll give you my overall impression. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.